Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna have some fun and sketch some chairs. So let's jump right into it. I'm using the big round stick as always. It's getting low, but I have another low one right here in case we run out, and this is just cheap print paper. The reason I'm using print paper is just because it's right here. It's right next to my computer, and I have a stack of them laying right here, so whenever I feel like it, I always have a Bic pen and some paper laying around right here, so I don't have to plan the sketch session and get all the tools and gather them and so on. They're right there, and that's the reason why I use this type of papers. So let's just start with something simple, I guess. Just a simple traditional chair. So let's just put out some lines first of all. Not overthink it too much. Let's see what we can do. This is maybe not a tutorial style, but if you want, you can always sketch along in the video. You can just grab a piece of paper yourself and get some lines down. That's the whole point. It's kind of some weekend sketching, I guess. And not all of my videos are going to be straight, step-by-step tutorials. There will be some sketches where I just record whatever it is I'm sketching and then just upload it, maybe add some music, maybe not even talk at all on it. And some are going to be a little bit more in-depth tutorials. But for this one, I think it's going to be something like a hybrid in between a tutorial and just a regular sketch session. So this is the way I like to sketch. I like to just put lines down, and when I see that the perspective is off somewhere, I just go ahead and adjust it before I go into any heavier weight, line weight, or into markers or whatever. Before I go in too deep, I like to just take a moment to check the perspective and see that everything looks all right. And I think this looks pretty decent so far. It's not perfect, but we're not looking for perfect here. We're just looking for decent, I guess, and just have some fun by just adding some lines and get the daily sketching. That's the whole purpose of this video. Maybe add some design to this chair. So that's, I would say this is our first chair right here. Very, very basic in its design. It doesn't have to be more complicated than this. I guess this would probably stretch a little bit further down that way. What other types of chair do we have? There's so many different kinds to choose from. We can make some weird designs maybe. Let's see what this is gonna turn out to be. What am I thinking here? Something like this, maybe? Maybe we can have, not sure where I'm going with this one, so this is gonna be interesting to see what's going on here. It turned out to be in a very weird perspective. So I want this to be kind of like the backrest of the chair, and then have this be the seat right here, and it's there maybe, and it could maybe be like we have a hinge here or something, so foldable, so we can fold this rear leg in and make it compact, easy carry. A lot of practical reasons why we would do that, but personally I don't like this perspective because it doesn't have any dynamic to it. It's just a straight, we're looking at it from a too straight on point of view, so we can't really see what's going on. But it's all right. Got another sketch down, and that's the most important thing. We're at the same time, when we're sketching like this, we're practicing all kinds of stuff. We're practicing our creativity by coming up with these things on the fly. We also practice lines because right now I'm trying to make a straight line here, so I'm practicing that as well. And we're practicing perspective and pretty much everything that goes into sketching when you're sketching like this free without really thinking too much. And I think that's a really good exercise to keep the pen moving and not stop to overcomplicate things and think too much. So this would be the corner of this seat here. Maybe we can even have a bit of a curvature to this thing. Something like that. Well, we have two chairs now. I want to make one that's more of a executive chair, so more of a comfy looking chair. So let's try and put that down here. First of all, let's start with the basic geometries for whatever it is we're sketching. We have a backrest, first of all. Then we have a seat, like that. I'm gonna have to add thickness to this later on, because it's supposed to be very comfy. Then we have, let's see here. Some armrests, like that. Looks cool. And we have one of these things that just goes down here. Let's try and find the center of the seat, which would be probably around here. And then what I want to do now is, instead of creating every single wheel down here, I'm just going to make one ellipse like this, preferably in the center of this thing. Now I just missed that mark a little bit, but there we go. And then we can do like we did when we sketched wheels the other day. We can just put these out like this, and then try to connect these. So just simple lines like this. And then we're going to come back and add some thickness to these. So maybe add it like that. We have a thickness. Of course, it has to have some sort of thickness to it. It can't just be a line. But the design of it is totally up to you. And then we can just put out some simple wheels like this. And the thing is, when you do this, this is pretty much all you need to sketch to get your idea through, because the brain will fill out the rest. You don't need to you don't even need to make these ellipses complete, like full circles. You can just do them like this, and the brain will fill in the missing information that it needs, as long as you have the basic stuff there. So maybe we can have it be like height adjustable, so we have something going like that. Connect it in a smoother way to this part. Alright, so now let's add some thickness to this. Let's see how we do that. I want to add some curvature too. So curvature right there. Maybe add a radius up there. I don't know. A bit of a curvature in the top as well. And all of a sudden it already starts to look a lot more comfortable than it did 2 seconds ago. Same thing with this right here. Add some thickness to it. Curve in the front. Thickness too in the front. Like that. I'm gonna add some markers to this too later, to all of these. Just some very, very simple and quick marker sketching on it. Get some values in there. Then we're trying to duplicate the line that we already have. Make a mirror out of that. These, not sure how they connect to the chair. Maybe they just, I don't know. And right there next to the chair or something like that. See, this is an adjustment I just made. I think this is too long, so I just stretched it back a little bit. And then it's almost like we're sketching soft goods here. And that means that we don't need to have necessarily straight lines all the way. We want to have some squiggliness in here. And very loosely, just get the lines, the design of the chair down like this. That looks pretty decent. And you know, decent is exactly what we're going for today. Gonna have a cut line in the middle of this. Can maybe have some dip in this thing as well, why not? But this is how I would sketch soft goods. It's just very loosely, almost like a paint approach to the sketch. And from here, we should, if we do this correctly, we should add markers to this right now before we add any line weight. And that's probably what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna define it some more before I do that. I think this is too straight, so I wanna have some more curvature to that. This area looks a little bit empty, so what we're gonna do, gonna add another chair right here, maybe a round design this time. There. And that is, I think Rosie is going to the bathroom in the background, so if you hear some noise, that would be it. I'm gonna add some line weight to this. Actually add some thickness to it as well. There we go. And then we need, let's see, what are we doing here? Are we doing a backrest for this or not? Yes, let's do that. So you got some legs with some curvature to it. Just a little bit of curvature. And let's make a third leg right here. It's gonna, I don't think I have enough paper to get this leg all the way down here. And it should have, of course, a fourth leg somewhere in the background here. Let's just put that out like that. And let's connect a backrest to this. The question is, how do we want to design the backrest? That is the question. Maybe just make it like this. A clean, one of these dining room fancy chairs. Like that, we can have a bit of a curvature to it. Let's put out the center line so we can guide ourselves what's going on here. This should be this way actually, because it has some curvature to the backrest itself. There we go. Look at that. We filled up a paper of chairs. Fantastic. Now we just gotta add a little bit of markers to this. I'm just gonna use, I think I'm just gonna go with a single cool gray. It's my favorite way of adding markers, because it's so quick and it kind of looks a little bit dirty, especially when you mix it with the big lines. Yes, it probably will bleed a little bit, but to me that just adds to the sketchiness of, let's see if we have a Cool Gray 4 here. All these tools can be found, by the way, in the description below if you want to go check them out. All the pens, the markers, and everything that I'm using, you can find that in my Amazon shop, which is linked below. I think Cool Gray 4 might be a little bit too dark for what I'm looking for. Let's just do a Cool Gray 1. Cool Gray 1, here we go. So I'm gonna add this, and then I'm gonna go back in and add line weight to all of this. And Rosie's not done in the background, as you can probably hear. I'm not sure. If you can't hear it, then I'm gonna sound like I'm just talking about nonsense. So this is pretty easy to, because it's all flat surfaces, so there's not really much to shade in this. That's basically all we need for that sketch. This is going to be a little bit more complicated, and this one is very easy too. Just add some, just go crazy. Go crazy with the marker. Don't worry if it bleeds, it just looks cool. You can add some ground shadow for this. Like that. Or like that. Alright, so let's jump into this. Let's see where the where's the light source here. So let's have the light source coming from this way, right here. So now we know that. We just need to figure out what surfaces are facing away from this light source. And then we just go around the sketch like this. Put out the marker where, of course, on the surfaces that are facing away from the light source. And since it's soft goods, you really don't have to worry about getting the markers correct, because it's soft goods and it's very dynamic and fluid. So you don't need to worry if you do a mistake or something like that. If you feel like it's too big of a mistake, you can always go back in and just clean it up later on. Rosie, hello? Are you done in there? I guess not. Still going strong. Alright, final chair here. Let's have the light source coming from the same angle. So that means that this part should cast a shadow onto this, like that. Rosie! Hey! Rosie! Oh my god, she's still in there. Sorry for the 20-minute bathroom break she's having in there. Kinda messes up the audio. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Simple as that. Oh, she's done now. Great. There we go. That's all we need for the markers, actually. We don't need more than that. Could add some, maybe get some more interesting stuff in that one. So the final step now is to just go back in here and add the line weight to everything. And one thing that if you have a sheet of paper like this with Bic Pen, you don't want to smear it unnecessarily much or whatever. So start from the bottom if you're right-handed, because you're gonna move up. So start from the bottom and fill out the sketches that you're not going to have your hand over when you go over all of the sketches. So for me, that would be starting at this corner right here, because I'm gonna move this way and my hand is gonna go away, and I'm not gonna go over this area anymore and cause a lot of smear. So this, it's the same philosophy here as it is with the markers. Just keep the light source. Light source is everything. It's as soon as you have your light source figured out, and that takes 2 seconds to decide where your light source is. It can be anywhere. Once you have that figured out, then that will determine everything when it comes to shading. The line weight, the markers, of course. It will determine the baseline and all of this. So if you don't have it, then it might get messy, and the light and the shading might not be correct. And it's not a big deal, but it's just going to not look natural. And we're looking for a very simple, natural look in these sketches. So that means that we need to figure out, we need to keep our light source in mind when we're doing this. Just adding some more definition to this design, or these seats of the chair. If you want, of course, you can go in and do some line shading here as well, like this, to get some more shades in there. Not, you don't have to do it, but it's just if you want to have some more fun with the shades, you can do that. Alright, so this actually has the light source coming from that way, which will not be consistent with the rest of the sketches here, but it's totally cool. So what I need to do then is just switch where I put the heavy lines. So that should be on the opposite side of what we just did on the sketch down there. Maybe add some thickness to this skinny leg right here, so that it looks like you can actually hold your weight and not break as soon as you sit on it. If you don't know where your light source is, then the best idea is to just fill out all the lines that are facing, all the edges and corners that are facing down. That would be the go-to solution if you have issues with light sources, just to fill out everything, all the edges that are facing down towards the ground. And the last one is the same light source as this one right here. Very dirty line, this one right here. Gonna add some weight to the seat here. So I'm doing the bottom line, of course, the bottom line, and adding even more weight to the part that's in the shade, even though I go all around it because it's facing down, adding additional weight to the side that is in the facing away from the light source. And the final leg right here. The design of the chairs, you can, it's totally up to you. You can go crazy and spend a lot of time designing your chairs, or you can just have some basic shapes like this and get some sketches down. Totally up to you, of course. I like to, if I sketch like this, then I might come across a concept that I really like. And then if I find a concept like that, that's when I start to go into more details and maybe make more views of that specific design, a chair in this case, and continue that way. But for this video, just wanted to get some sketches in, and at the same time share it with you, of course, because why not? It's just fun to share this kind of stuff, and maybe it will get some of you to pick up a pen and just doodle something today. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I'm the Sketch Monkey, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.